for our 2021 week of spiritual emphasis here at Valley View University. You are welcome. We have the rare opportunity of speaking and interacting with one of the world's icons in the person of Pastor Godswill T.K Mensah. He is the director, the executive director of Center for Outreach, Mentorship, and Empowerment. Simply come. It is a privilege to reach out to the world in such a wonderful time when we need to be inspired in order to come up higher, which happens to be the theme for this week's program. Once more, you are welcome. Now to Pastor T.K Mensah. You are welcome.
Thank you.
What is your initial feeling having you on the stage?
It's a blessing. It's exciting, and it brings back to memory when I was a student at Valley University.
That's wonderful. I must say that I have met our speaker on various platforms, and we've had personal conversations at various levels. I know the man T.K Mensah. I want you to tell me who you are and tell the world, as many are listening.
Okay, my name is Godswill T.K Mensah. I am the son of the late Francis Fela Mensah and the son of Elizabeth I. I am the younger brother of Linda Gulu, a teacher, and I am the elder brother of Dr. Priscilla Mensah, now Odum. I am the husband of Henry Samuel Mensah and the father of Susan Na Ameli Mensah. Born in Denu, my father from Accra, Jamestown, and my mother from the Volta region, Denu to be precise. I schooled at Amazing Love Secondary School to Bishop Herman Secondary School, JHS Amazing Love, and then to Valley University, University of Ghana, and then UPSA. This is Godswill T.K Mensah in brief.
That is a solid one, and we are grateful that you have given us all these details. Like I said, it's a rare opportunity to be talking to an icon such as this. I want to put a question to you, and the question is, why are you here? Where are you going to? Is there a cause? Firstly, why are you here on this planet Earth?
Yeah, thank you, Pastor. I believe, by the grace of God, I am here to practically, passionately, intelligently use the Bible to influence the third world or the disadvantaged race. I believe I exist to be a conscience of society. I believe I am to empower two areas of life: the centers of learning and also the marketplace. This, I believe, is my essence of existence.
That's amazing. So it's the centers of learning and the marketplace. Any connection between these two?
Yes. The centers of learning, they shape, in one sense, the ideals. That is the schools, either universities or colleges of education or even primary school. And the marketplace is the workplace. So people come to the centers of learning to understand policy direction, theories of work, and they get to the marketplace to execute that for societal change.
So if I understand you, you want to be at the start point and then trace on to what people are doing. That is excellent. Now, I want to know when all this started. I mean, this ministry of speaking to people across the world, how did it all start?
Yes. Basically, it started somewhere 22 years ago in my village.
Then I think you must be very old.
I'm 36.
All right.
I'm 36 years. Pastor, that is not a small age. That is not a small age. Before I'll get back to Pastor's question, is there a cost and the rest? But let me answer this, that 22 years ago, as I can remember, I think I was 14 years, 13 to 14. I became passionate about speaking. First, it started with reading the Bible. My father will let you read the Bible, especially a chapter, and then he will ask you to glean lessons. Not just a theory. What are the lessons from the Bible that can make you useful today? So my daddy will make you read. I was doing it gradually. But after a while, I became excited about it. So when I read a Bible a day or chapter a day, and we glean it at devotion, I want to share with my friends in school. Then, when we get to church at Sabbath school, when we are asked what was the insight for today, I read about 14 chapters a day. So I have quite to share. But the platform created at the church was not enough. So when we close, anyone around me, I want to tell you what I have studied the week. Then the local church will have preachers who will come to preach, but sometimes they don't show up. So you'll be asked to fill in. So you become like more or less like a standby preacher. So you go to sit, fill in, you preach, and then the feedback became a little relevant.
That's it.
Then it kept going and going, and we just took off till we get today. So basically, that is the standpoint. And I want to state it for the record. I want to thank the local church in my village. It's called Race of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church. To me, it is the best grooming center of public speakers, youth leaders in the entire of the world. That is a place that changed me.
That's amazing. And I see it this way, that the parental role had an influence.
Sure.
And also taking it from a small beginning.
Sure.
Because I know there are several people around the world that they are not too happy when they are given small platforms. But from what we've heard so far, wherever you are placed, you can do something out of it. Pastor T.K, I want to know again, how has the journey been so far? As a matter of fact, I know that when you see a person at a destination, it is not only the jubilation, but think of the tribulations, think of the temptations, think of the difficulties. How has it been so far?
I'll respond in two strands. Number one, it's been a privilege and it's been a very heavy burden. Privilege in the sense, when I look back at my background, where I came from, the challenges surrounding my birth, the disadvantaged situation I was brought up, born, and the circumstances my parents need to surmount, then I look back and see that God wants to use you for something special. It's a privilege. Also, for you to speak, whether it be in social gathering, in corporate settings, or in evangelistic retreats or revivals, the bottom line is, it's not just what you say, but for God to say to me, or good and faithful servant. In other words, God being the one giving me a privilege to share his thoughts, his ideals, and his standards. That is not a light privilege, or it's not small blessing. So that is why I said it's a privilege. Number two, it is difficult and it's a very high burden, because it calls for a lot of reading. It calls for a lot of personal feeding of yourself. Let me put it this way, Pastor. The speakings are an overflow of your devotional life. So I have nothing to tell the world until I have something that has spoken to me. So I become a little passionate about the subject I want to share, and that calls for a lot of time being spent in reading, in prayer, and also observing and also listening to others. So in two strands, it's a privilege, it's been a heavy burden. It comes with a lot of stray bullets. It can come in the form of expectations are very high. People expect something new anytime you step up to speak. It also comes with envy. It comes with jealousy. It comes with pettiness. But it's part of the terrain. So that is what I'll say regarding that.
That's amazing. So those of you who think that talent is enough or gift is enough, it is not the case. It comes with hard training and all kinds of circumstances. And once you go through that, the best will come out of you, as we see it in the life of T.K Mensah. I believe it is getting interesting. And those of you who are watching across the world, you have the opportunity of putting out your suggestions, your contributions, as well as questions, if you have any. If you want to do that, I ask you to send your message to this number. It is 055 968 0066. I take it again. 055 968 0066. If you have any question, anything that you want Pastor to clarify, you can do that through this number. Pastor TK, I really appreciate your passion. I must say, it's and a burning desire to reach out and to do more. However, there is a unique attitude of yours. You have this sense of urgency. Why? What is burning? What is the situation that you have this sense of urgency?
How do I say it? Two things. First, the sense of urgency is because life is short. We have a shelf life. Anything we are here to do is within a specified time. I was brought within time. I will exit within time. In other words, I have a ground to cover. The Bible says in Ephesians that redeeming the time, for the days are evil. So we don't have time. So first is from the consciousness that I will expire one day. One day I will not be here again. So I have one life. It's a big deal for me. So if there is anything we need to do, I must do it fervently, urgently, so that we know that this is checked. The second is, if you belong to the third world, in quotes, I'm using the third world advisedly, the disadvantaged race, the black people. If you are from Africa, you are already disadvantaged, because my age mates elsewhere, they are steps ahead. This is the way one writer puts it, and I will just paraphrase. It said, look, in Africa, I have my grandfather's race my father did not complete. My grandfather did not finish his race, he died. My father came, he did not finish his father's race, and my father died. Now I am born. I am now to take my grandfather's race, run part of it, race for my father, and then come to put in my race finish it, pick some for my daughter. So I noticed that I am already shortchanged with time.
And late.
A lot of grounds must be covered.
Yes.
So with these two principles to it, I have a certain sense of duty and a certain sense of urgency. Pastor, to add to that, I'm a Christian. The judgment is an account of our time. The judgment is just an account of the time. So I am going to give account to the one who gives me life regarding time. So there must be urgency. There must be a sense of duty.
Thank you very much. There must be a sense of urgency in whatever we do. And to be frank, we are late. And I am late, I know. And from this time on, I know most of us will pick up and begin to do things right. Because the way to do things right is to work with a sense of urgency. Now, Pastor T.K Mensah, I can say welcome back to Valley View University.
Thank you.
Because you are an alumnus of this great institution of ours. Now, the point is, how has life been whilst a student here? And per your observations, what has changed? What is the terrain now compared to when you came here?
Let me say it this way. You know, I came to Valley View, I was about 21 years. Is it 2006? I came to Valley View University. Oh, it was a very nice campus. It was a time where you are searching for meaning, and then you came to a campus that was saying, come and grow with us. A campus that was literally giving opportunity to every young person who is willing to take hold of it. For me, I was at JJ Notte room 8 and room 10. I could recall we were 6 in a room, and room 10 we were 8 in a room. It was a blessing to me. I don't know what others would say. It was a period where my gifts and my abilities were given a space for me to explore, so that I can make all the mistakes whilst in the school. So when I think about Valley View, it's always a positive thinking. Largely, I had my own issues with some of my lecturers. We fought in court. We disagree. But anything that I encountered at Valley View, I would say, and I'm not saying it for the camera's sake, God being my witness, I have been blessed to be at Valley View. I have absolutely no single regret for passing through the school. Now what has changed? I don't know much, but I see a lot of inertia. I see a lot of reluctancy. I see a lot of non-belonging. I see, as I observe, a lot of being extremely careful, staying within my space kind of a thing. That is what, from my limited understanding and observation, that is what I see.
All right, thank you very much. So those of you who are already students at Valley View University, take advantage of what you have and run with it. And those of you across the world, when you are looking for a training ground, a place where it's battlefield that you can train yourself and become a better person, I recommend to you Valley View University. You can join us. Pastor, let me take it from where you ended. This inertia, this reluctancy, how are we going to deal with that? And not Valley View to be specific, but when you travel across Africa, this same laid-back attitude, the inertia, the reluctance to move forward, feeling that it cannot be done. How can we solve that particular thing? Because it's all over the place.
The week of spiritual emphasis is one solution. Programs like this being organized by the university is a paradigm shifting and a life transforming approach. So it must begin first with mindset change. So that is the first. University of Ghana, I went to University of Ghana. You see, there is a lot of inertia among the students, even on campus. I'm pursuing another program now in UPSA. You see that among students and staff. It's a global thing that is happening. One way to deal with it is to give young people a reason to belong, a reason to believe, and to demonstrate by leading that it can be done. Sure. So it is mindset change and it is leadership in essence.
All right. So young people out there, it's your time. The laid back time is over. Let's get back to Valley University. Pastor, in your answer, whilst here as a student, it looks like this place was a training ground for you. I want to ask you, how does the training here at Valley University impacted your life's vision, life's plan, and purpose? How did it contribute to all of this?
I want to say it very candidly. 90% of what I pursue to do today, they were birthed at Valley View. I make no apologies to it. God being my witness. 90%, if not more. You see, when I came to Valley View, I discovered myself appropriately. Look, Valley View shaped my purpose of existence. Valley View shaped it revealed to me the latent energy within me. Valley View gave me opportunity to not just focus on my ministerial studies. It was at Valley View I unleashed my entrepreneurial gifts. I just unleashed it like that. I recall when I was in school, I was running a business. It was at Valley View. Pastor, I made money. I made a lot of money. Look, if I am relevant to a life today, I don't know how to overstate it. Can you imagine? I have not gone to any theological school apart from Valley View University. I did a 4-year program. I have not studied anything relating to ministry anywhere again apart from Valley View. So look, when I was at Valley View, we formed an outreach group. It was at Valley View we started raising young student missionaries to other African countries. It was at Valley View University we go to conduct evangelistic campaign, and 1,700 people walk out and get baptized and become identified with the church. It was at Valley View University, I recall we went to a place like Sierra Leone, and at that time the president of Sierra Leone had just, President Barack Roma, 2007, in my second year, 2008, getting to my third year, the president of Sierra Leone just started what they call the Attitudinal Behavioral Change Secretariat. We got to the country, we saw it at the airport, then we are Valley View students, we agreed among ourselves, this project can give a community impact. Overnight, we stayed together, wrote a proposal, sent to the presidency, the minister responsible for special initiative. In 5 days' time, all the CSOs in the country, the media houses, they were staged in a city auditorium where students, university students, young professionals, major radio stations were carrying out community impact, how we can use students and young professionals to change the narrative of Sierra Leone. Valley View. It was at Valley View that I went for a program, that global evangelism, under the leadership of Elder Falkenberg, the former GC president. They said, can you be invited for a program in Kenya for a public campaign? It was at Valley View. 2,500 young people walked down the aisle and they were baptized. It was at Valley View. It was at Valley View University that I knew that I would start camp. It was at Valley View. In my room, it was at Valley View. When I sit back, and you will notice this week I'll be a little passionate, I will be a little radical, and I will be asking, especially from you, the student, you cannot continue life as the same. I came to this school, I found gold. The time I was finding my gold, my friends were only lamenting. They were not seeing the privileges, opportunities this school brought forth. Look, when I finished my work, I want to mention Pastor Lai, a man who will walk up to you at Valley View and say, hey, Godswill, we want you to stay at Valley View and pastor. I finished school 2010, May, June. In less than 6, 7, 8 weeks, I was given opportunity to serve at the chaplaincy. It was at Valley View I started my pastoral work, where you can quickly put out sermons together by the click of the hand. I preach more sermons and Bible study at Valley View than any district I have gone. So in terms of my student life, in terms of my ministerial pathway, God being my witness, I cannot excuse Valley View out of the narrative. Valley View changed my life. And I want to use this opportunity for those of you who happen to be here or listening. There is opportunity in this school. All it takes is people who are searching, people who have the eye to see, aside all the challenges like any other school will have, what is that opportunity to take advantage of? That is all I'll say regarding my experience.
I think this is a very big one. And I must just add a statement to what he just said. It is the optimist who sees opportunity in every danger. And a pessimist sees danger in every opportunity. I think we need to really know how to search for it and take it. A lot of people are enjoying the program around the world. And let me announce the number once again. If you want to reach us by way of question or any contribution, or you want pastor to clarify anything for you, you can send your message to 055 968 0066. Let me take that again. 055 968 0066. Pastor, before we proceed further, some are overwhelmed about what is going on here at Valley View University. And so some have some questions for you. Now, the first one says, I am really enjoying. Let me take it again. This person said, I am really enjoying your program. God bless TK for his love for God's work. This is Prince Owusu from Accra. The next one says, the man through whom I saw the light on the campus of the University of Ghana. God bless you, Pastor. This is from Obed Takradi. Yao Say is asking a question. Since that is not what we are discussing, you are free to jump or to answer if you have the answer presently. He is asking a question. Why are we using cross? Why are we using the cross as our logo? Why are we using the cross as our logo? This is Say asking this question.
I will answer that in course of the week.
All right. So Say, keep listening, and the answer will come to you readily. He went on to say, apart from the gospel and leadership, what else? In what else do you have passion? Apart from the gospel and leadership, in what else do you have passion?
I have passion in making money.
Oh, I love that.
I have passion in making money. I like money. So aside the gospel, aside leadership, I am interested in how to make money, entrepreneurship. I am interested.
I think that is a very good answer. And for those of you who are Christians who don't understand the text in 1 Timothy chapter 6, which says, it is translated in some versions, the love of money is the root of evil. Now, listen to it carefully. It didn't say money is the issue. It says a love of it. If you check the Greek, it's not even there. It is a love of it. He doesn't love money, but he knows how to make money. I will be learning from you soon because I need a lot of that I must be frank with you. Let us go on with this one. This one says, my name is Opoku Wari Mensah Emmanuel. I know T.K Mensah and Priscilla very well because their father, Elder Francis Mensah, was my elder and a close friend. Pastor T.K was a talented boy from young. He was a very good singer. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes,
from the beginning at Denu Church. So it is no wonder as we see him today. TK, I'm proud of you. I don't know whether you know Opoku Wari. Do you know him?
Opoku Wari.
Yes.
It escaped me a little. Maybe if I.
All right.
Face, yeah.
So Opoku Wari, throughout the week, keep watching, keep texting. Pastor T.K Mensah would reach you. There is another one here. I think this is also from Opoku Wari. He says, apart from the outreach, what is the mark you have left that you can be identified with? Apart from outreach, I think you have answered this one. Making money. All right, that is good. If one wants to say, I really like today's programs, Pastor. I really, what is this? I'm not catching it well, but it says, but I recently heard, let me clarify that. It says, but I recently heard he's no longer an Adventist pastor. Please, is it true? Okay, let me leave it for you to answer that.
All right.
I want to leave it for you to answer that.
All right. I am a Seventh-day Adventist. I just resigned from denominational employment. I work for the church. I do evangelistic meetings and stuff, just that I am not paid by the church. Thank you.
All right. So it is clear Pastor T.K Mensah is an ordained minister of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. He only resigned from denominational employment. And so he's supporting himself to reach the world. Pastor, we want to come back to Valley View University.
Thank you, Pastor.
And this time, focus a little bit on the week's program. The theme for the week, for me, is challenging. Come up higher. Pastor, what is boiling in the spirit so we could have such a series in such a time?
So those of you who followed earlier in the morning, listen to the theme again. Come up higher. Basically, it's a divine invitation. If you check the text I attempted to use today, Revelation 4 verse 1, 2 Kings chapter 18, Luke chapter 11, you see throughout scripture, God has always invited men and women to a higher ground for higher experience. You know, as a people, as individuals, as institutions like Valley View, as Africans, as Ghanaians, as Christians, it gets to a point where we get settled. We become, and in today's preaching, I attempted to draw lessons in that, the routine. So it is the same singing for a singing group. The organist is the same playing of the organ. The technicians, those who do videography, it is the same. So come up higher is a radical disruption of the status quo. It is a call for you to be better, to be healthier, to be wiser, to be the very, move to the next stage. So in other words, if I am a Christian and I used to get satisfied with doing 2-hour Bible study a day, I want to this year take it up to 2 hours 30 minutes. I just want a little higher. If I'm a student and I used to spend 3 hours in reading and research, I want to add an hour. It's just calling for moving to the next level of your relevance, of your importance, of the use of your gifting, your talent, and your spiritual intimacy with God. Don't be settled at where you are. Get higher. It also means getting higher in knowing God, getting higher in knowing self, getting higher in knowing the schemes of the enemy, getting higher to knowing where the world is headed, getting higher to know how I can be fruitful and how I can be useful within God's dimension of my existence. Basically, this is what we
yeah, Pastor, I would have asked you the relevance of the message to Africa, the world, and Valley View University. But I think you've mentioned that already. But there is somebody watching from Dubai.
All right.
He's watching from Dubai. His name withheld for some obvious reasons. He's saying, I am watching you live from Dubai. You're really on point in your interview and more power. Now, he went on to say, I am really enjoying the interview, Pastor. Okay, yes, it says Pastor TK has really challenged me on campus. It means the person was a student here when we were also here as a student or a pastor at the time. Let me take some more of the messages. I don't know what I can read all, but it's flowing. This is somebody who is called Adumako Emmanuel. He said, I would love to be a student of Valley View University. Please help me with the process to get it done. When we are done, Adumako, we will reach you. But first and foremost, just get to our website, Google Valley View University. You find a lot of information. But like I said, after we are done with the program, we can reach out to you. If there are several other people watching across the world, especially in Africa, the ground for training to become relevant and useful is Valley View University. Here, we make sure that you are cut out for purpose and everything you do will be a blessing. This person also said, please ask Pastor TK for me. Please, why did he resign from being a pastor? I think that has been answered already. He is still working for the Lord. And I think in this part of our world, change is quite difficult for us. And so I believe that with time, we'll begin to understand some of these things. This is Edson Isaac. He says, how can leadership influence the youth to become timid and feel not belonging? How can leadership influence young people to become timid and feel that they do not belong? So whilst you think about the question, I will take some other ones. What are some of your future plans of influencing Africa to zoom into thinking before you depart? This is, I am Adai Bonokun. I think it's, this is a student I know is a smart guy. Pastor, can you answer the one that has to do with the timid attitude and not feeling belonging?
What's the name of the one who asked the question?
Go ahead. We'll
Whoever
take it
asked
again.
that question, anything you refer to as will make young people timid and they fear or whatever it is, it's not leadership. That is misleadership. Leadership is to empower. Leadership is to uplift. Leadership is more or less to discharge. Leadership is to lift people up. So anything that makes people feel stupid, feel useless, feel rejected, and fear is imposed on them, it is not leadership, and that is misleadership. In my word, I call it, that is levelship. It is not leadership. So that cannot be leadership. Leadership is to do the reverse of the prepositions he just made. So it is not leadership.
Yeah, and I think I side with you so strongly. Yeah. In Africa, we think leadership as power. But like you said it right, leadership is empowerment. Yeah. And one great leader of the world, Napoleon Bonaparte, it was this man who said, a leader is a dealer of hope. Yeah. So if you cannot give hope to people to rise to become what God has ordained for them to become, you are not leading. Pastor, there are several other messages. This is from Sethina Kusi Apia from Techiman. She says, God bless your ministry. She went on to say, God bless you, Pastor Mensah. I'm speechless. May God richly bless you. This one says, Happy Sabbath, pastors. I'm not getting it. Okay, this one is from Biayao in Kwanta. God bless Pastor TK. Is really blessing to this. He is really a blessing to this generation. I have known him from different places, and he is one person I cannot forget in my life, especially when leading programs. He always starts with the words, not I, but Christ, be honored, loved, and exalted. This message is really inspiring, and it keeps me up every day. I wish he says it now. Pastor, can you say it again? Not I, but Christ.
Oh, not I, but Christ, be honored, loved, and exalted. Not I, but Christ, be seen, be known, and be heard. Not I, but Christ, in every look and action. Not I, but Christ, in every thought and word. In fact, it's a hymn. It's in our hymn books.
Yes.
It's a song. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it is hymn 570.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many Adventists across the world know that hymn. That hymn, in simple terms, is the true Christian experience. Pastor T.K Mensah, God bless you. God bless you.
Pastor, there is a question someone asked.
All right.
Someone asked that, what do you intend to do before you exit to impact Africa?
Yes.
Two quick response. Number one, I believe that the time in which God has brought me within time, we are to do 2-3 things that will cater for the era in which we are. Number one is to groom the next generation of leaders in various sectors across the nations. So in pastoral work, in terms of corporate leadership, in leadership in every spheres of life. So that is why we at our organization, you can call it our ministry, is the Center for Outreach, Mentorship and Empowerment. As we speak currently, half a thousand people are enrolled in various stages of leadership programs and mentorship. To me, this is a critical contribution that is paradigm shifting, changing the mindset of young people, investing in the next generation. I am 36, for crying out loud. I am older than Jesus when he died. So if there is anything left for my life to do for the remainder of my life, is to invest in the next generation, those in senior high, teenagers, those in junior high, those who are in the university now. We need to position them in a place they do not make the mistake we make. They take hostage of the shame of our continent. Africa is being ridiculed. Africa is being demeaned. The third worlds are being slighted. We are not invited on the table on merit. At best, it is tokenism. This attitude we want to change in our era. I told the Lord, before I die, Africa should send missionaries to Europe, missionaries to North America. Those who came to preach to us in Africa, we should raise leaders in industry, African homegrown funding to send missionaries across the rest of the world before Jesus comes. If God helps me do that, I am ready to exit the stage.
Thank you very much, Pastor TK. Back to your work. This will help us to emphasize more what you have been doing. You reach out to young people, like you said, at centers of learning and the marketplace as well. Pastor, can you help us understand just one thing that young people will have to focus on, something very essential that young people will have to focus on in the church, outside the church, Ghana, Africa, and the world over?
I will call it the identity crisis. Let me mention 3 things or 2 things young people need: identity and purpose. Who are you? Your identity. Immediately and in course of the week, I'll be addressing that. And number two, what am I here to do? That's why when pastor asked me the question, why are you on earth? If young people know their identity and they know their purpose of existence, all other things will fall in place. Sadly, it's not been taught in many churches, in many gatherings, in many social settings. So young people grow up, the society sets up an agenda for them, they pursue until they are old and they realize this is not what I am created to be. This is not who I am meant to be. So if young people are to focus on anything, pastor, identity and then purpose of existence.
Thank you very much. I call it IP. IP.
All right.
Identity and purpose. Pastor, there is one thing that I want you to really help us to appreciate. Per my interactions with you and watching you from afar, there is one particular expression that seems to me as if you were brought on earth to help everybody to understand, aside all other things. And that expression is misplaced priority or misplaced priorities. What is that? What is the border about it that you keep talking about it? Misplaced priority. What is it?
Okay, I will say 4 things. Number one is doing the right thing at the wrong place and time. Doing the wrong thing at the wrong time and place. Doing the right thing at the wrong place and time. Doing the wrong things at the wrong place and the wrong time, or doing nothing at all. You see, it is the thrust of the whole of life's existence. What we have succeeded in doing in our generation is, everybody knows the idle mind and the idle hand is not right. So the devil has found a new method. It is busybodying. People are involved in a lot of activity, but that is not relevant for the time. So it is exams time when we need, or you come to school to study, you come to school to acquire skills, then you are interested in some other things that are necessary, but they are not needful at the time. They may not be bad in themselves, but just that the timing is wrong, or it may be the wrong thing being done at the right time. So if life will be decoded, or let me put it this way, if you ask me what is one of the greatest challenges that causes men not to fulfill their essence of existence, to impact their world, it's a life of misplaced priority. I can take you to Acts chapter 6 from verse 2 to verse 3. The church, the apostolic church, was caught up in it. They were serving tables whilst they were to be doing something else. Many of us, our life is just a life of, we are busy with not bad things, but things that are not necessary at the time. So for me, misplaced priority is at the heart of every other thing. It's a litmus to see who wants to impact life and change the world.
Thank you very much, Pastor TK. Let me take some more messages. I don't want to leave anybody out. This one says, I am just enjoying the program. I first saw Pastor TK at Ho Polytechnic for one of NAS programs, NAS Congress programs, around 2013. In fact, he is absolutely fantastic, and I agree with you. I love listening to him. God bless him and his ministry. I take inspiration from Pastor TK ever since I met him. He has been a blessing to me. He has touched me today. This is Aurora. I hope I got the name right. Somebody has listed a few things to be read. One, who are your mentors and the books that has shaped you the most? This is a very important question. Take note of that. Who are your mentors and the books that have shaped you the most? Number two, please, how did you become a motivational speaker and a life coach? From Jinad Rahman. So let's take the first two, your mentors and the books that influenced you most.
I have a shade of mentors. One of them is Pastor Kwe himself. He will not believe and he will not know. He is a thinker. You will not know. When I was on campus, any major program we want to organize that is not necessarily a school program, Pastor Kwe and somebody like Kwejuan said, Rabbi, will be on the bill. So I have shades of mentors depending. But if you ask me, 3 or 4 mentors that stand out for me. Number 1 is Dr. Samuel Cranton Pipim, and I make no apologies to it. Dr. Pipim is a foremost mentor to me. The second person I will mention is Pastor Balisasa, a mentor to me. Then I will mention Susan Sards. Then I will mention my father and my mother. My father read the Bible and glean practical lesson. My mother, how to make money and how to buy land. Then you are looking for someone who is to guide you in preaching, Pastor Coker. Even before I came for this program, he called me to the house. He said, you know, it's been 10 years or 11 years since you completed school. These are some old books that can refresh your mind. That is Pastor Coker. So, different person. In terms of my ministerial work, Pastor Okran played a role. The current Southern Ghana Union Conference president. Is a sharp leader. I make absolutely no apologies to it. A man who is a thinker, who believes God, who loves God, who wants to empower young people. So at various stages of my life, Susan Sards, she and the husband, Dr. Timothy Sards, in the United States, they mentored me. Literally, they paid my fees to go to school. Whilst I was at Valley View, this white woman and the husband, they invested money into me, from food to school fees, shaping my ideas on international politics, economics, what are the major changing schemes around the world. That is Susan Sards. So for mentors, I have benefited from a buffet of mentors. Now, which book shaped my life? The Bible. It is the best book that has changed. If you take the Bible away from me, I have absolutely nothing to share with the world. So this will be my response.
Thank you very much. Once more, this is coming from someone from Nkoko. She said, Pastor TK, you are looking good in your African word.
Oh, I am good looking.
He is good looking, not just looking good. Yes. That's beautiful. From Nkoko, I am watching you live. Please, this is just the beginning. Keep the fire burning. Please, how can I? Let me see. The messages are too many. Please, how can I enroll into CALM? We have... okay, how can I roll into? We will talk about that later when you are ending.
Sure.
Pastor T.K Mensah, the messages are flowing. And please, if I've not read yours, don't worry. We'll have the time again to do this. Please, you are a preacher of the gospel. First and foremost, I want to know how the message of Christ can help solve some of the teething issues of our world. Because there are some who think that the gospel is obsolete. We don't need it anymore. How do you think the gospel can help address some of the issues of our world?
You show me a problem in the world that the gospel cannot affect. You see, for example, Christ came to change the concept about economy. When the world is talking about saving and this, look, this is a man who exchanged a life to save a many. You go to racism, as we see today, racial segregation, the gospel has solution to it. Talk about the greed and corruption that is literally destroying the world. The gospel has solution to it. Talk about parental negligence and irresponsibility. The gospel has an answer to it. You talk about addiction and attitude and behavioral patterns that people are struggling with. The gospel have a buffet of solutions for it. Listen, the gospel is not just a faith. Practically, it is relevant. Today, it is resonating. Listen, geography cannot save you from masturbating. Biology cannot stop you from stealing. Mathematics cannot stop me from lying. This is what the gospel does. It transcends human knowledge. You see, there is power in the gospel. That is why this week, especially in the evenings, we are going to deal with the spiritual component of this lie. Pastor Kwe, let me put it quite bluntly. I dare a man or a woman to mention any facet of life or life's challenges that the gospel have no solution to. Bring it up and we will give the answer right away by the grace of God. The gospel is relevant. Look, if not for the gospel, do you know who I would have been? My goodness, I would have been a deadly crook. God is even still trying, hustling to hold me hostage. The gospel is too powerful. It is too relevant. It is extremely essential. Its power breaks boundaries, nations, and countries. Pastor, let me not preach. The gospel is relevant.
It's relevant. Thank you very much. That is why it is an everlasting gospel. We have to be running up actually because of time. I know this conversation has not ended. It will go on and on and on, even amongst yourself wherever you are. Pastor, this week is tailored. This week is measured. This week is a special time per my expectations. Pastor, what is your own expectation? And what you think your audience, our audience across the world, should expect in this week?
Expectations are these, 3 or 4. 1, it will be Bible-based. Expectation number 1, every message will find its framework within the Bible. Number 2, it will be life transforming. Anyone who comes with a receptive heart, it will be life transforming. Number 3, it will be spiritual. It will be prayer packed. We will pray. We are going to pray. And then number 4, you are going to find answers to some of life's perplexity. Bible-based, life-transforming, spirit-centered, and it will be problem-solving. And if you so wish, it will be relevant, especially to the target audience. So watching home on abroad, wherever you may find yourself, every night and every morning, this coming week, God is going to be the one to take charge. I will just be a vessel, but I want to pray. Only one thing I request from the audience. Number 1, just pray for me, and if you so permit, number 2, make yourself and friends available. Pray for me, nothing more, and then make yourself and a friend available. God will speak to us all, beginning with myself.
So, Pastor, thank you very much. These are great expectations, and this will come through when the Lord comes through for us. So keep praying. Now, to end, we have tried to look at people's expectations for this particular week. And so watch the video. Watch the video coming up next. This is a Week of Spiritual Emphasis 2021, organized by Valley University Chaplaincy. What is your expectation?
I am very glad we are looking out to do the possible best out of ourselves. Normally, we look in what we can do, not like looking into the future. But God has much greater things and plans for us. And I believe that at the end of this spiritual week, I would be able to look beyond my limits.
Having attended the service for today, I expect that I begin to see things differently and make sure I strive for the best in everything I do and never settle for the less.
I was looking at the theme for the week, Come Up Higher. So I'm just looking forward to the fact that all of us, faculty, staff, students, will really go up higher to meet the Lord. And if we really go up higher, I expect that our lives will be changed. I expect that we all have the passion for spiritual things and also see our students very different.
In fact, the theme for the spiritual week is very touching because it's what everybody expects to, coming up higher to in your professional life, in academic life and spiritual life. And for me, I'm expecting that the speaker will speak to hit me more, to move from where I am, because I'm not comfortable. It may sound as if I might have gone higher, but I need to push higher. And so as the song is, I'm pressing higher so that I can improve on my spiritual life.
This week, we have a spirit-filled week. The messages will touch hearts, and then we move from where we are to higher grounds.
Okay, so when you say higher ground, what do you mean? What do you want to get to? I just want to know that.
Each and everybody, if you are in a good position, I want you to be better. And if you are in a better position, I want you to be best. So each and everybody will live up to expectation. We expect higher things from God and will live up to expectation.
We are so happy that the week of spiritual emphasis has begun, and we are really in the mood. Pastor Mensah has given us an indication of what he's going to do throughout this week to make us understand that we need to come up higher in our spiritual experience. So we're looking forward to a series of interactions or lectures which will help us to understand that really we are in a quagmire and we need to come out of it. So I expect that we should all, with open hearts, go into this series, attend as much as we can, and so that we get the greatest benefit possible.
I believe we have started very well, and I thank God for this very special occasion. We've prayed for it for a long time, and it has come. He said two things which we should not forget. Getting involved is not enough. We should be committed. And as an institution, as a church family, each one of us must put our hands and then give it the pull or the necessary push that it needs to go on. In other words, we should begin to learn to do things differently from the way we've been doing things in the past, and we'll get closer to the end where God would like us to be. And finally, I want to say that there should be unity. Even as we move higher, we should pull our brothers and sisters together to come up higher.
In fact, this message was convicting, heart-touching, and predict the conscience of everyone. In fact, I love the message.
It is the emphasis week, so we are expecting nothing but an emphatic revival. We are expecting that at the end of the week, we are all blessed. Our hearts will be touched. Students will, change certain ways that they are used to. And like the theme suggests, we will all go up higher at the end. So that is basically my expectation for.
Thank you very much, and it shall be so in your life. Expectations from the Valley University, and those of you who are watching us across the world, I tell you, this week is measured, it is tailored, it is heaven's assignment, and you cannot miss out on any of the times of meeting. Pastor, before we end, finally, let me read a few of the messages. You respond, then you give us your last word. This is hi. I am Mark Opon Brenya from Agona Afamanaso. Pastor TK, I do listen to you and enjoy your presentations. Pastor, my question is, someone acts like the person she listens or watches. Pastor, you do shout on top of your voice. You do shout on top of your voice when you make your presentations. What is the motive behind that? As I imitate you, please don't imitate him. As I imitate you, should I also shout like you? How can I merge making money and doing God's work? Wouldn't you like money more than God's work? Because the ministry you are in needs money, and you work hard to keep the ministry going. Another one, my name is Christian Aferi Williams. May God bless you for the good work. What do you want to achieve until you will feel fulfilled? Do you have any ambitions of becoming a lecturer. He's lecturing. Thomas Yabua Kumasi, thank you, Pastor T.K Mensah. Yahweh begotten, Yeshua bless you. Hallelujah. You can touch on some of the things said, and then you can close for us.
All right, when you were brought up in the village where there was no microphone, and you have a lot of people to speak to you, shout. So if you are born in the city and you have a microphone, don't learn that. Sometimes when you become passionate about the subject, even in normal life, everyone with their temperament, so you just need to be yourself. In terms of making money, I don't have money yet, but I know how to make money, and I am pursuing how to make money. And in fact, making money is one of the mandates as a way we try to finish the work. The gospel is expensive. If I tell you the money people have invested in my life before we come out to speak, it's a little expensive. So it is not a thing the church or church members or Christians must be shy of. Just that we need not to make the making of money a priority over other extensions of life. We need to strike the needed balance. Ambition of lecturing, Pastor has answered that already. I am not lecturing in university, on university payroll, but we go to universities. I must admit, I have a very good team and I have a good board. And I want to use the opportunity to thank the leaders and the board of CAM for the vision, the precision, the decision that relentlessly a certain new breed of African and black people are going to emerge in our generation. That will be godly, that will be excellent, that will be ethical, that will have integrity, that will serve the world. This is the investment. When we are able to achieve, we have no reason. But most importantly, Jesus will come again. As we do all this in life, it must zoom into a point. Am I right with my God? Am I in tune with my Creator? Can God tell me, Godswill T.K Mensah, at the end of my life, good and faithful servant? If I can do this, I am ready to exit the stage. God bless you. And I invite you this week to join us for this week of spiritual emphasis. Stay blessed.
Thank you very much, Pastor T.K Mensah, and thank you, my viewer out there. You heard it right. It is time to come up higher. God bless us all, and I wish you well in whatever you do. Don't forget that a gold medal is not made out of gold, but out of hard work, determination. God bless you all. God bless you. Let us pray. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you very much for this opportunity. You came through for us in this interview session. As many as have listened to us, let them turn to you and come up higher. Those of us here at Valley University, those of us on this stage, cause us also to come up higher. When all things are said and done, prepare each and every one of us for your soon coming kingdom. This we believe it is done because it is your will to bring us into heaven for your own glory. In Jesus' name have we prayed with thanksgiving. And wherever you are, you can say amen. God bless you.